enhancement for Sage 100. Adrian, did you want to give everyone a couple of minutes, or should I just go ahead and take it away?
We should go ahead and get started. We're 3 minutes after, so I think that we're good.
Okay, sounds good to me. So just to lighten up the atmosphere, I wanted to just tell everyone a really good joke I heard the other day. And it just so happens it has to do with warehousing, so I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy it. And if you don't, erase it from the recording, Adrian. So there was this gentleman that had been laid off and had been out of work for about 2 years. Needless to say, he was worried. And then finally he finds a job as a warehouse worker, of course. Just so happened, the first day he started working, he drove the forklift off a loading dock. So, I mean, the damage he caused was terrible. When the owner came and started surveying the damage, he said, oh boy, you're really in trouble now. I'm going to have to withhold at least 10% of each of your paychecks until we have enough to pay back for all the damage that you caused. And the gentleman, with the saddest look in his face, said, well, how much is the damage? How much is it going to be? And the owner said, you know, I calculated it's about $5,000. And he said, yes, baby, that's what I call job security. So not a good way to get your job secured, but he got it. And now back to the serious business here. Erase it, Adrian.
You got to love the edit button. That was a great joke, Patty.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and talk about multi-bin today. Again, thank you for joining us. As Adrian informed you, my name is Patty Benitez. I've been with Hightower, who manufactured or created the multi-bin advanced distribution. SWK just recently acquired the company and has taken over the enhancements. And I'm very proud to say that as of this year, we're finally beginning to take control of these enhancements. And you're going to see that during the presentation. We're also accepting suggestions. So if there's anything that you would like to see in our enhancements this coming year and on version 5, please let me know. We're taking your suggestions very seriously. I'm actually personally delivering any suggestion to our development team, analyzing it, and informing the person who suggested whether or not it's going to be added. So by all means, please feel free to send your suggestions. And let me just try to get past this slide now. Bear with me for just a second. Oh, what's a presentation without technical difficulties?
It's always a challenge.
Adrian, do I still?
It keeps it exciting, Patty.
You know, it's suspenseful. What'll it be? What'll it be? You know, I'm having trouble.
We can see your screen. We just can't see it moving.
Yeah, for some reason it froze. It's not letting me move to the next slide. Not even letting me escape. I apologize, everyone. Something is going on here, and I'm going to find out. Let me just cancel this. There we are. Maybe now it'll let me. Here we go.
There you are. Okay.
I do apologize. So for today's agenda, I'm just going to fly through this slide since I already spent 2 minutes on it, on the past one. We're going to talk a little bit about SWK. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the multi-bin advanced distribution enhancement. I'd like to discuss with you who can benefit from it and several client pain points that I've encountered throughout the years. I also want to be able to show you enhanced performance. I'm sure you'll appreciate this performance. It has to do with cycle counts, it has to do with allocations, and many other items. I'm going to go ahead and present the software, so I'm going to actually go in the software and show you how it works, how it integrates with Sage 100. And then towards the end, I'd like to just give you a list of other SWK enhancements, and I'm probably not making enough noise with that, but you'll see they are very valuable. They integrate with our EDI solution. Some also integrate with multi-bin. And then last, I will provide you with our contact information. There are several people here at SWK that would love to hear from every single one of you. Yay, it worked. So who is SWK? For those of you that don't already know us, SWK is a Sage reseller, similar to your channel partners. that has been around for the last, I want to say, 30 years almost, since the 80s. We're gold certified Sage development partner, and this basically permits us to use the Sage toolset to create several enhancements for Sage 100, as well as our MapAdoc integrated EDI solution. I do want to emphasize our EDI solution is fully integrated with Sage 100, Sage 500, and Sage ERP X3. We currently have well over 1,000 active customers utilizing our proprietary software, and this includes all of our enhancements as well as MapAdoc. We have a very capable and dedicated technical team. Most of our resellers know our technical team and love to work with them. This technical team is supporting our customers as well as our partners. Now on the slide you could see what an ideal warehouse would look like on the right side of the screen, and the nightmare that most of us looking for multi-bin have in our warehouse. Who is multi-bin advanced distribution for? Multi-bin advanced distribution is ideal for manufacturers, distributors, importers, exporters, or any business needing to track an unlimited number of bin locations for each warehouse and inventory item. So basically we bypass that limitation that you have with just a simple inventory management module from Sage. Why would anybody have to use or would want to use multi-bin? It's basically designed to help streamline the inventory picking process and to ensure items will be available at picking time. You can enter a single item in several bin locations or place several items in one bin location, and the exact location will be listed on the picking sheet. I know that's not too much to ask for, and we're basically giving it to you within the multi-bin. When one warehouse has an item available and another warehouse doesn't, the salesperson that places an order for the item will be able to send the order to the correct warehouse to ship the item to the customer immediately. When a salesperson places an order and sees that the warehouse has the quantity available, the item will be secured or allocated to that order and will be available during the sales order picking. So it's ideal to be able to set the item aside and not have anyone else sell the same item that you've already sold. It's an embarrassing situation when you've promised an item to a customer and then you find out that it was sold prior to you actually being able to send it to this customer. What are some of the pain points that transpire prior to being able to set up the multi-bin functionality within your Sage 100 system? They say pictures say 1,000 words, and I'm willing to say it's more like 1,000,000 words in this case. If you see the left side of the screen, this is everybody's nightmare. And not only that, but what will this nightmare create? It'll create employees taking their time, sitting down, not knowing what to do. And I'm not picking on anyone in particular, but that's one of our team players that used to work at a warehouse. I'll let you know who he is later. So when you integrate multi-bin to the different modules within Sage 100, because it was written and formatted for Sage 100, it's going to seem, pardon the redundance, it will be seamless to you, because what will happen is instead of you having to exit each module to distribute, you'll actually get a distribution window right within the module that you're working on. For example, in the inventory management module, it's basically required, first of all, to be able to use the multi-bin advanced distribution. It basically reshapes your inventory tracking system and allows you to track multiple bin locations per warehouse per item. When you're using multi-bin with sales order, multi-bin extends the capabilities of sales order by allowing you to flag inventory items involved in sales order. In standard Sage 100 system, and this would happen, in your standard Sage 100 system, the sales order will commit the inventory item. Items are still available for purchase by another customer if you do not have the multi-bin advanced distribution integrated. If, say, for example, you integrate with purchase order, multi-bin modifies the purchase order module to utilize bin locations for receipt of inventory items. bin locations are also utilized for return of goods and material requisition entries. So you basically, once you receive the items, can place them in the bins that you would like to place them in immediately at the time of receipt. If you're integrated with return merchandise authorization, multi-bin, the multi-bin module will allow this module so that the quantity can be distributed to bins before transactions are actually generated. So that integration with return merchandise authorization will be key if you're receiving any returns. Multi-bin also integrates with bill of materials, so bin quantities can be tracked throughout the production and disassembly process. When integrated with work order, multi-bin distribution can be entered and updated along with each work order entry. And then, of course, multi-bin also integrates with the barcode module, and the integration with the barcode module will basically allow you to expand the import files to include bin locations. So you can see all of this integration is available to you. You don't have to purchase it separately. It's all included when you purchase the multi-bin enhancement. The integration to all of these separate modules is instantly available to you. Now this is our dream warehouse. As you can see, everything is nicely organized and marked. Of course, our employees are not able to work without being held up for any reason. And you can see multi-bin advanced distribution allows your warehouse to complete standard inventory functions while tying the data into your Sage 100 ERP, accounting, distribution, and manufacturing software. In addition, multi-bin also offers cycle count capabilities. The cycle counts menu contains options that allow you to count the physical inventory and post adjustments to the perpetual inventory efficiently and easily. Use the cycle count worksheet feature to freeze items to be counted and to print worksheets for the items selected. This is only a part of what you can do with the cycle count functionality. There's much more, and we'll talk about it during our presentation. We also have the bin location maintenance feature, which I'll also talk about during the presentation, but basically the bin location maintenance window features an apply button which displays the apply bin location window. This window allows you to choose the warehouse codes, product lines, item numbers, and to create bin detail records with zero quantity for all items in the warehouse, bins, etc. that match your criteria. The inactive bin detail removal program was designed to allow you to select multiple lines at once. There are also 2 new button fields that allow you to select all lines to be removed or unselect all lines. And I'll show you that during the presentation as well. I'm sorry, I was trying to rush through all this so we can get to the presentation. And now let me go ahead and just share my screen with you. So the one item I'd like to begin with is on the screen, but before we jump into the multi-bin itself, I'd like to just briefly go through the setup with you, and you can see how easily it's done, and mainly because you've already set everything up in Sage 100. You've already set up inventory, sales order, work order, so really the setup in multi-bin will just follow what you have within your Sage 100 system. As you can see, multi-bin will appear in your Sage 100 menu as any other standard Sage 100 module, and again, the reason behind that, we formatted and structured multi-bin for the Sage 100 product line. So let's just briefly go through the option maintenance. And without having to go through the whole screen, you can see you have limitations that you can set for specific warehouses or product lines. You can allow over distribution, include pending quantity in available quantity, and you also have the capability to include user-defined descriptions. If you're planning to use the cycle count, you can post cycle count variants to inventory, and then you can have the cycle count variants bin location and allow distribution from variants bin location as well. You decide. As far as integration, I mentioned throughout our PowerPoint the different modules that you can integrate with. In this case, I'm integrated with sales order and inventory management, but again, you can definitely integrate with bill of materials, work order, I'm also integrated with purchase order in this case, and you can always use the barcode master as well. It integrates with that. The integration with sales order gives you the following options. You can show bins on picking sheets, and then you have the different options here. I'm saying only with quantity available. Do you want picking sheets to allocate the inventory, or do you want to allocate the inventory during your sales order? I'm going to go ahead and not check this off because I will be allocating items during sales order. Distribute quantity, and you have by bin location, tier, or available quantity. The distribution sort order can be ascending or descending. You can choose to print only allocated items on the picking sheets, allow wave picking on the picking sheets. You decide the number of characters for wave picking, and then you decide if you do not want to print picking sheets if a customer is misbehaving on their credit. And then for bill of materials, you pretty much have several of the same options. You can see there you won't have the customer balance option on the side, but everything else is there for you. And as you can see, that's it. We basically set it up. You decide which warehouses you'd like to enable, which product lines. In the main tab, and I'd like to go through the main tab because I know this is a feature that many people like to use, which is the bin transfer entry. So for example, if you have several items in a particular bin or particular warehouse and you'd like to transfer them to a separate bin or a different bin warehouse, it's this simple to do. So I had the items that I saw I had about 300 of them, and I can go ahead and change them to another bin location. There's the items, and then it's pretty much this simple. I'm going to go ahead and just process a quick bin transfer. Now, one of the advantages that multi-bin also offers is that the forms are completely crystal compatible. The picking sheet is crystal as well, so you can customize them at your convenience. And I'd like to apologize in advance. My crystal forms are usually very plain. And I'm just going to go ahead and complete the transaction. You can remove the inactive bin detail, clear the sales order distribution, and just briefly with the bin location maintenance, you can check through each one of these bins, and then you have maintenance per bin location available to you. You also have the option to allow your employees to create bin locations on the fly, and we'll go through that during the presentation. So what we're going to do, prior to this presentation, I created two different purchase orders, and the purchase orders that are in the system have not been received yet. So I'm going to be focusing on two items for now. They're both transistors, so I just want to point out one of them, the first one, which is item number 14212, has 100 on purchase order, and you can see there's nothing else. Everything else is in zero. The other transistor has 150 on hand, 20 on purchase order. Now, I'm looking into the inventory inquiry screen, the same inventory inquiry screen that you're accustomed to within Sage 100. And now what we're giving you is the advanced distribution button. So if we had items in different or multiple bins, we would be able to see exactly what bins these items were located in, along with the quantity on hand, quantity allocated, pending quantity, etc. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just say OK to this, and what we're going to start with is a purchase order receipt of goods. And again, notice how I'm going straight into the purchase order module. The purchase order already exists. I'm simply going to go ahead and process a receipt of goods. These are the two purchase orders that I created prior to our presentation, and we're going to go ahead and receive the first purchase order. I'm going to say invoice number 123 for this customer. Again, this is standard purchase order receipt of goods. You can see nothing different here. We ordered 100 items. We're going to go ahead and receive 100 items. The difference on this screen lies on the button that you see right above the unit cost, which is the advanced distribution button. So now you have the option to actually receive the items, but you can also place them in multiple bins. There's different ways to go about this. I can just go ahead and choose the bin if I know which one I'd like to put the items in, or I can click on the lookup quantities, and what will happen when I click on the magnifying glass, it'll show me the different bins and the quantity that's available in the different bins. So in this case, I have items. I would typically use the item and place it in the default bin. I don't have any in stock right now, so I'm going to go ahead and choose the default bin and go ahead and accept the quantity of 100. And I'm going to just accept. And now I'm going to start another receipt of goods, and we're going to accept the second purchase order. Same customer, and let's just do 456 invoice. So notice how in this case I have 20 items. I'm going to go ahead and click on the advanced distribution button. Instead of going to look up quantities, I'm going to go ahead and choose a bin. Notice how it gives me a full list of all the bins where I could place the item. I'm going to go ahead and place it at the 1000 bin. And I only want to place 10 items at the 1000 bin. Because I still have 10 items available that I have to distribute, I can go ahead and choose the different bins. And I'm going to go ahead and place it in the 100A bin. Notice how it distributed the items for me. I have all 20 distributed, and therefore my distribution balance is now 0. So I can go ahead and accept this. And now I'm going to go ahead and print my purchase order receipt of goods. Please don't look at my dates. They're always out of whack. Let's see if I can maximize this a little bit. You have your standard receipt of goods register. I have to go through the update just so that the items are received, and you can now see them as the quantity on hand. And once I finalize my update, I'm going to go back to the inventory inquiry screen so we can see that the items have been received. And again, you don't have to really go outside of the module that you're working on. You can use your purchase order inquiry screen, or just go back to your inventory inquiry screen. Notice how originally we had, let's go to this one first. So originally we had 0 on the first one, and now we have 100 items on hand. I click on my advanced distribution button, and it'll show me that the items are at the default bin. In this case, we had 150 items on hand. Now that we've received the items on purchase order, they're no longer showing here. They're showing as quantity on hand. Again, standard purchase order, but now you have the advanced distribution button, which will show you exactly where the items are located. Remember, we received 10 in each bin, and you can see each item, each 10 items in the different bins. And again, if I wanted to create a bin on the fly, I could have easily done so if I was given permission. So let's just accept this, and now what we're going to do, since we received the items, is go to sales order and process a sales order with these items. And we're going to be using both items just so that we could see how things are being distributed or allocated in this case. And let's go with Hillsborough. Let's go with the transistor, and just to make it easy, we'll go with 10. Now remember, when I set up multi-bin, I said that I wanted to allocate the items during sales order. You do not have to allocate during sales order. You can have the items allocated during the picking sheet process. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and distribute the item, or I'm sorry, allocate the items. It's hard to go from point of sale to sales order at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and allocate the items. Again, this is your standard sales order screen coming from Sage 100. And notice how you have now the functionality of the advanced distribution button available to you. At this point, I can go ahead and allocate the items straight from the default bin. Notice how instantly it'll take the quantity of 10 and leave the quantity of 90 available. Again, if I had additional items available in different bins, I can allocate the items from the different bins. I don't have to stay with just one bin. Key component here. Once you allocate the item is committed to this sales order and no one else has access to selling the item. I'm going to go ahead and accept this sales order. If I can put the right schedule, tax schedule in. And then we're going to start with another sales order. And it'll be the same customer. And this time we're going to choose the second item that we were working with, the second transistor. And let's sell 40 of these. Again, your standard sales order. Notice how once I key the amount ordered, my advanced distribution button becomes available. And in this case, remember how we had the items available in different bins? I can go ahead and allocate them from the different bins. So, say for example, I'll take 10 from here. I'll take the other 10 from here. And it's telling me the amount of items that still need to be allocated. Which, of course, now that I know that I only have 150 available in the default bin, and I have 0 available at the other bins, I can go ahead and choose this bin. So now the items are allocated. Again, once they're allocated, they're committed. Nobody else can sell my items. And now I'm going to go ahead and finalize. Sorry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and accept my sales order. Before I invoice the sales order, I just want to go back briefly to inventory inquiry. Notice how the item now will show the quantity on hand, will show you what's on sales order, and the quantity available. Again, you can use your advanced distribution button, and now you're actually able to see where the items are coming from and what sales order they're being sold through. So let's go now and invoice these items. And our customer from Hillsborough. Let me choose the right tax schedule. And our sales order number. I'm going to go ahead and ship the complete order. Standard sales order invoicing. I'm not doing anything different. I'll accept it. And let's just create the second invoice. I love the multi-bin presentations because I'm basically just going through sales order, purchase order, inventory. There's really nothing difficult about it. And I'll accept it. And then we can go straight to invoice printing now. And again, remember, multi-bin offers crystal forms. So you can definitely customize this. And I'm just going to go ahead and update everything, and we'll go back to inventory inquiry and find out exactly what happens with these items. So I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible. And now let's go back to inventory inquiry. And this is our first item. You can see now there's nothing on sales order or purchase order. The quantity on hand has decreased to 90. If we use our advanced distribution button, there's nothing allocated, and we have 90 on hand and nothing pending. We go to the next item that we've been working on. We have the 130 items on hand, and notice how nothing is pending anymore. Again, if you go to the Advanced Distribution button, it'll show you that we have a 0 quantity on the top 2 bins that we took the 10 items from, and it'll show you where the 130 items are actually located. Remember how the last time we came up, the last time I pulled up this screen, you were able to see the sales order number and the items, and notice how now that information is no longer there. Everything else is pretty much your standard Sage 100 functionality. You have the same screens where you actually can go back in and check your purchase orders, check your sales orders, check any transactions. It's that simple. Now, again, the multi-bin fully integrates with work order, barcode master, material requirement planning, and the functionality continues as well with return merchandise authorization. And you're able to see that advanced distribution window in the different areas. With that, I'm going to go ahead and, Adrian, I don't know if you have a poll that you want to send out, or
we do have a question. We do have a question, Patty, if I may. We have a question. Thank you, John, for your question. Does this support batch processing?
Does it support fast processing?
Batch, B as in boy, A-T-C-H, processing?
You know what, Adrian? I apologize. I'm not sure whether it does or not, but if we can get that person's information, I'll definitely get back to him right after the webinar.
And John, we do have that question associated with your name and contact information, so Patty will get back to you. I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll, and then I'm going to look for more questions. Are you interested in learning more about multi-bin? %, have voted, 64%. Patty, do you have any more jokes?
Well, you know, I had a joke this morning, and then my team members here kind of told me not to tell that joke, but I thought it was so good.
Come on. Now we're curious.
I have to, well, I mean, you're going to laugh, because this was a true story. And that's why I thought I laughed when I heard it, because it was a true story. I couldn't believe it happened. It was this little old lady, and she was on her way out from a Walmart. Okay, she could hardly walk. She had her little cane and all of her little bags. And then she sees 4 individuals trying to steal her car. So they're all inside her car trying to steal it. She pulls out a gun and she said, "Hey, everybody, stop! I have a gun and I know how to use it." So the 4 individuals ran out of the car, scared out of their wits. She gets in the car and she's so nervous that she can't turn it on. She can't put the key in the ignition. She keeps trying there for hours, and then after hours and hours of trying to turn her car on, she turns around. The parking lot was empty, and there was only one other car there. And guess what? It was her car. So I thought that was really funny. Adrian, you're not laughing?
No, that's funny. I was laughing. I just had myself on mute. You never know if I echo, if I make you echo when I'm on mute, because I can't hear it, but I've heard that. So I was laughing. We have another question, Patty. Does this support scanners?
It does support scanners. Again, it integrates fully with Barcode Master, so you can definitely use the scanners.
And we have 58% of you who voted. If we could get maybe 1 or 2 or 100% to vote, that would be terrific.
By the way, speaking of scanners, we are integrated with ScanCo. There's an integration piece, and we're currently working with ScanForce as well. So we have that functionality available.
And
everyone.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, while people are sending other questions, if there are any other, I put a multi-bin stock status report on the screen.
Oh, let me close out this poll, Patty. You can't see the poll. The presenters can't see the poll, but the audience is still taking the poll. So in order for them to see your screen, I have to close this out. So I'm going to close it out real quick. And I'm going to share the results. It looks like 56% of those who voted are interested in learning more. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And Patty, you can go ahead. We can see your screen now.
Thank you, Adrienne. By the way, if anyone is interested in a one-on-one presentation, I'd be happy to provide you with that one-on-one presentation. Typically, I have a technical person sitting next to me, which helps me with questions that I don't know the answer to, such as the batch processing, which I know is very important, and I believe the answer is going to be yes, but I have to confirm it. What I have on the screen right now is the bin location stock status report. I just wanted to point it out because it's available right out of the box. And again, it's crystal, so you can definitely customize it. The other thing is, outside of the multi-bin, I wanted to go back to the PowerPoint really quick and show you a list of the other enhancements that SWK has to offer. You can see that we're offering also the apparel matrix. The apparel matrix works within MapAdoc, our EDI solution, as well as the multi-bin. We also offer bill of lading, and you could see the list of other enhancements that are available. I don't want to read them all off, but there is a wide variety of enhancements that SWK offers, and we do provide one-on-one presentations for every single one of them. The websites that you see at the bottom, both websites hold our enhancements, and we offer 45-day trial downloads of the software. So if you're interested, please feel free to go to this website, the swktech.com or hightowerinc.com, and you'll be able to find the 45-day trial demo of the software. For point of sale and timekeeper, we have pre-recorded presentations. We will also have a recorded version of this presentation available to you soon after the webinar.
And Patty, oh, go ahead.
Sure.
Oh, we do have another question. Whenever you're ready.
No, I'm ready. Go ahead.
We have a few other questions. With orders received in bulk via EDI, is there a default allocation of goods on picking sheets, or does inventory allocation need to be manually entered?
You can set it up. It's an option. You can either set it up as a default, or you can manually enter it in inventory.
And thank you, Dan, for that question. And then John, thank you. Entering sales order invoices in batches is a standard function of MAS. So I'm guessing that this enhancement should follow that protocol?
And that's exactly what I was headed for. And that's why I'm saying that most likely the answer will be yes, because typically multi-bin will follow the SAGE standards. So if it's something that SAGE is allowing you to do, we try to just follow along with that by providing you the advanced distribution window. But I still want to be able to confirm. I don't want to give you a firm yes until I hear back from my technician, which will definitely happen today, John.
So does anybody have any more questions? And if you like and you feel comfortable, if you click on that raise your hand button next to your name, we'll unmute your line and we can speak live. Oh, we do have a question. It looks like Dan. Let me unmute your line and see if we can speak live. Dan, did you still have a question? Oh, it looks like we might have answered his question, Patty.
Sounds good. You know, it was good that he didn't get on because I was going to ask him first if he liked the joke.
We have another question from John. Thank you, John. Can a picking sheet be printed based on where the bin item is located, meaning the most efficient way to pick the items from the shelves?
The picking sheet can be set up to be printed based on the quantity available in each different bin. And then what it'll do, for example, if bin A has 100 items and bin B has 1,000, your customer is ordering 350 items. It'll first take the items from bin A and then go down to bin B to continue allocating the items from bin B. Does that answer your question?
He says partly.
Then you know what we could do if you'd like, John, I can give you a call after the presentation and maybe we can discuss your question in further detail and we can actually take a look at it on the software itself.
He says that would be good.
Okay, excellent.
And so do we have any other questions? Anybody? Not seeing any so far.
Okay. While questions are coming up, I just put on the screen a quick review of the MAPADOC EDI, and I keep bragging about it because it works with multi-bin. There's a reason. So I just want you to know this is how our EDI program would work. And then I'm going to leave you with our contact information.
And also, Patty, doesn't this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't this also work with Starship? So if a customer theoretically had your solution, this multi-bin solution, and an EDI solution, and Starship all integrated, they'd have a true pick, pack, and ship solution all integrated?
That is correct. That is correct. Very good point, Adrian. I should have mentioned it.
That's what I'm here for.
If there aren't any more questions, Adrian, I'd like to just thank everyone for attending. Our contact information is on the screen. If you're an end user, please know that we're going to contact your Sage reseller to let them know that we've been in contact with you. We love our partners and we take care of them very wholeheartedly. So we will give you all the information you need except pricing. For pricing, we're going to send you right back to your reseller. But we're happy to answer any questions, provide you with presentations, et cetera, et cetera. And to all of our channel partners, thank you very much for your loyalty. We know it's been a very hard road for all of us since we took the multi-bin over from Hightower. I guarantee SWK is putting 110% of our effort into getting these enhancements up to our level of products, such as the MAPADOC. We have very high standards, and we definitely will get all of these enhancements to meet our standards and yours as well. Thanks again, everyone. Adrian, if there isn't anything else, I think this pretty much concludes our presentation.
I think that's it. Thank you so much, Patty. This is a great presentation, as always. And we will be in touch, everybody. Thanks for your time. And Patty, I'll go ahead and let you say goodbye.
Thanks, Adrian. Everyone have a really good afternoon, and we look forward to hearing back from you. Don't forget to send us your suggestions. Thanks again.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.